Hi guys! So, here is our discussion for bonds payable. Medyo, it really hurts ng kaunti pero kayang-kaya nyo naman to. So, ang ituturo natin ngayon is the basics. Once alam nyo yung basic, pwede ko na kayong bigyan ng mahihirap na problem para alam ko kung paano, kung naintindihan nyo yung basic kasi kaya nyo siyang i-apply sa mahirap chart lang. Anyway, so huwag kayong mag-alala. I'll be guiding you sa guided exercises. Okay? So, yan. So, we have bonds payable. Let's start. So, this discussion includes bonds payable and the effective interest method and some other topics na mahalaga. Okay, regarding bonds payable. Okay? So, we have bonds. Ano ba ang bonds? Ang bonds po, it is a formal unconditional promise made under seal, okay, to pay a specified sum of money at a determinable future date and to make periodic interest payment. So, siya ay, utang siya, okay, parang papel, may kasulatan na papahiramin kita, okay, pahiramin mo ako ng pera at promise, unconditional yung promise ko, na babayaran ko siya at sa perang hiniram ko at a specified time. Okay, selyado siya. Okay, may abogado, may notaryo publiko. Okay, yung the formalities. Okay, so, dito, yung certificate binibigay sa kasunduan between the issuer and the investor. Okay, so, anong tawag doon? It's the bond indenture. Okay, so, sino ba yung issuer? Okay, ang issuer is yung humihiram. Okay, siya yung magbibigay ng bonds payable kasi nga 'di ba nakasulat sa bonds payable is nangangako ako unconditionally na babayaran ko yung perang ipapahiram mo sa akin a specified date. Okay, under selyado pa tayo kahit ihabla mo pa ako sa korte kung hindi ako magbayad. Okay, so siya yung issuer. Siya yung magbibigay galing sa kanya. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, siya din yung magre-record ng bonds payable. Okay? Sinong tatanggap? Eh di yung investor. Okay? So, yung investor, yung receiver ng bond. So, sino magpapahiram ng pera? Yung investor. Sinong humiram ng pera? Yung issuer. Okay? I hope that's clear. Okay? Sino magre-record ng bonds payable? Yung issuer. Okay? So, yeah. Okay, pasensya na sa hitsura ko. Wala nang ganda-ganda dyan. Yan na. Okay. Cut my hair short. Short ba? Kasi pinapalago ko yung aking may kulay, yung aking natural hair para mawala na yung colored hair. Okay? Anyway. So, we have specifications may include call provisions and redemption rights. So, ito yung pwede mong ilagay sa kasunduan ninyo sa bond indenture, which is call provisions and redemption rights. So, ang call provisions, pwedeng i-call or sabihin agad ng investor na babayaran ko yan, bayaran mo na yan, okay, yung utang na yan, okay? So, meron kasing bonds na callable, okay? So, call provisions, anong gagawin? Okay, once ma-call, at what amount, mga ganun. Okay, redemption rights, if may redemption rights ba? Okay, depende kasi yun sa kasunduan. Kasi bakit ba siya nilalagay? Para pumayag yung investor na pahiramin ka ng pera para maging attractive yung bonds mo. Okay? So, restrictions and requirements may be imposed such as bago pumayag yung investor, baka gusto niya may sinking fund ka. Ibig sabihin, ready kang bayaran. So, kaya merong allocation ng sinking fund. Pwede din naman maintenance of financial ratio. Sabi ng investor, i-maintain mo itong current ratio mong ito. Kapag hindi mo to na-maintain, kukuhanin ko yung perang pinahiram ko sa'yo. Okay, restriction on dividends available to the issuers or shareholders. So, pwedeng sa kasunduan may restriction sa kung magkano lang ang pwedeng ibigay na dividends. Okay? Restriction on incurrence of additional obligation. So, may restriction din kung uutang ka pa ba sa iba. Okay? Kapag umutang ka sa iba, you're at a higher risk na baka hindi mo mabayaran yung hiniram mo doon sa investor na yon. Okay? So, we have appointment of independent trustees. Okay? So, yun yung mga katiwala ng investor na usually the banks, na if hindi ka magbayad, anong gagawin natin? Okay, so, babatakin natin yung lupa mo. Okay, so, and authorized amount of the bonds to be issued. So, yan. Interest rates, payment dates, and maturity dates are also included in the bond indenture. Okay, lahat yun nakalagay. Okay? Next. We have types of bonds. Medyo madami kasi sa sobrang, alam mo yung nag-evolve yung business world, sa sobrang dami ng naging kasunduan, okay, sa sobrang creative ng mga businessman and businesses, okay, nagkaroon na ng pangalan yung malimit na nangyayaring pahiraman ng pera. So, we have as to maturity, as classification, extendable. So, yung may hawak, okay, yung investor, he's the holder the holder of the right to extend the maturity. So, yung investor may right, pag meron siyang extendable bond, pwede niyang may right siya to extend the period of the maturity. Uy, mabait. Okay, retractable. Sa retractable naman, yung holder may right para i-retract. Okay, the return of the principal amount. Uy, madamot. Okay, so for example, 5 years ang maturity date na pagkasunduan nyo, retractable bond. So, pwede siyang maging 4 years, 3 years. Okay, so yan. Okay, serial bonds. Okay, this is, has a series of maturity dates. Okay, so, playing safe. Mas attractive kasi yung, kumbaga, kung ikaw magpapahiram ng pera, parang mas safe na yung binabayaran ka every year, okay? Para in case na mawala ng pera yung humiram sa'yo, at least may bumalik man sa'yo kahit hindi buo. So, yun. Okay, so yun, as a series of maturity dates, payable in installments, okay? Then, term bonds, maturity is a single date. Okay, so, malimit ang i-counter natin term bonds, yung single date lang. Okay, pero i-account din natin yung mga serial bonds. Paano ba i-account yung every year, nagbabayad na din ng principal, nababawasan yung principal amount. Okay, so yan. Okay? As a security and risk, we have collateral trust bond. So, this one is secured with financial assets. May mababatak. Pag hindi ka nagbayad, kukunin ko yung bahay mo, yung lupa mo. Financial assets. So, or own equity instruments of the issuer which are held by the trustees of the bondholders. So, may trustees, yung bondholders, pwedeng yung bank. Okay? Nasa kanila yung titulo yung mga financial assets na ibinigay. Okay? Or equity instruments. Okay. Like certificates. Okay, mortgage bond, this is secured with real property. Ito yung mga batakan natin ng yung bahay, yung lupa. So, real property ang naka-anchor dun sa bonds na. Pag hindi ka nagbayad, sige, akin na lang ang lupa mo. Akin na lang ang real properties mo. Okay? Junk bonds. Junk bonds, kaya nga junk. Kasi parang desperate na sila magkaroon ng pera. Okay? So, ang binibigay nila is very high risk, high yielding. Diba? The higher the risk, the higher the return. High risk, high yielding bonds issued to finance leverage buyouts and mergers. Ito yung mga ini-issue ng mga troubled companies. Yung muntik ng bankruptcy or malapit bankruptcy, insolvent na. Okay, may possible hostile takeovers. If you know the takeovers, yung bibilhin ka na ibang negosyo kasi palubog ka na, pero maganda naman, may promising yung future na yung negosyo. So, bibilhin kita, ayaw mo yung bibili sa iyo. So, kailangan mong mag-leverage, mag-finance ng leverage para at least maging okay ka. So, kung ayaw mo yung magte-takeover sa'yo, at least maging okay ka. Okay, maging okay ka, nalabanan yung magte-takeover sa'yo. So, hiram ka ng pera. Ang tawag doon sa ibibigay mong bonds, if masyadong mataas yung risk, pero high yield siya para sa investor, junk bonds. Then, we have debenture bonds. And debenture bonds is not secured with any property. Yung mabait yung nagpahiram. Okay? Kasi maganda yung credit standing mo, kaya pinahiram ka ng kahit walang naka-attach na collateral. Okay? Subordinated bonds. So, holders are subordinated or inferior in the claims of general creditors, secured creditors, and those with priority sa bankruptcy. So, ito kasi parang debenture bonds, pero subordinated siya. Ibig sabihin, mauunang bayaran yung mga merong debenture bonds, okay, kasi sila yung general creditors, kaysa sa subordinated bonds, okay? So, yun. Okay, asset-backed securities backed with pools of assets. There is a special purpose trust or instrument which are used as a pass-through by the investors of the assets. So, ito naman is asset-backed securities. So, meron ka talagang ibinigay sa trustees ng bondholders na ito yung mga assets ko. If in case hindi ko mabayaran, at least sa inyo to. Sa inyo ko ibibigay to. Okay? So, gawin nyo kung anong gusto nyo gawin. Charot lang. So, pwedeng magkaroon ng investment, pwedeng manganak. So, basta, nasa inyo muna yan. Yan yung pass-through. Okay? So, yun. Next, as a recording point of view and payment of interest, we have registered bonds. Sa registered bonds, nakalagay na talaga yung pangalan mo. Okay? So, ma'am, bakit kailangan nakalagay, emphasize na nakalagay na yung pangalan? Kasi, di ba meron tayong mga bonds na pwedeng walang pangalan, pwedeng blanco yung pangalan. Kasi, yun yung tawag dun is yung coupon bonds can be freely transferred sa ibang tao. Okay, sa registered bonds, nakalagay yung pangalan ng holder, tapos once ipagbenta ng holder sa iba, kailangan mag-issue ng panibagong bond certificate para yung current holder, yung pangalan niya nakalagay kasi registered bond siya. Okay, ang coupon bond naman, coupon bond. Ma'am, di ba yan yung papel? Okay, so, yan yung papel. Okay, so, kasi yung papel natin ginagamit, kaya siya tinawag na coupon bond, kasi coupon bond, kasi doon nilalagay yung mga bonds na piniprint. Charot lang. Yun yung mga istoryang sinasabi lang sa amin ng mga professor namin na bakit daw siya coupon bond. Okay, so, coupon bonds, coupon talaga. Those that can be freely transferred and have detachable coupon for each interest payment, also known as bearer bond. So, ito, walang nakalagay na pangalan. Okay, so if you have negotiable instruments sa law, so alam niyo na there is pwedeng walang pangalan yung negotiable instrument, tas freely papasa. Okay, so next we have zero coupon. So zero coupon is hindi ka nagbabayad periodically. Okay, ibig sabihin yung interest hindi every year ka nagbabayad. Kung kailan yung maturity date, doon ka lang magbabayad ng interest at interest at saka principal payment. Yung interest is accumulated dun sa years na ginamit mo. Isang bagsakan. Okay? Next, we have income bonds. So, pay interest only if there's profit. So, mabait to. Saka lang magbibigay ng interest kapag nagkaroon ng profit. Paano kung ang gawin ay wala kaming profit, hindi ako magbabayad ng interest. Yehey. Di pwede yun. Okay, so, participating bonds participate in excess earnings of the issuer. So, lock natin ang pinto. Baka kasi pumasok participate in excess earnings of the issuer. So, participating bonds. So, if may exist, okay, so, dahil nagbigay ako ng bond sa iyo, ang kasunduan natin is magpa-participate ako sa excess earnings, edi may portion ako. Okay, so, ganun. So, next, we have index bonds. So, itong index bonds, yung interest niya is based on an index to measure general purchasing power, like consumer price index. Okay, so kung ano yung nasa market ngayon. Next, we have inflation-linked bonds. This is, ang characterize siya ng protection, meron siyang protection against inflation. Bakit? Sabi kasi dito, yung principal amount will change if the inflation changes. Kasi yun yung kinatatakutan ng mga nagpapahiram, lalo na ngayong pandemic. Hindi makabayad, tapos nagkaroon pa ng mataas na inflation rate. The value of my money before is not the value of my money now. So, nalugi ako kung tumaas yung inflation rate. So, inflation-linked bonds is magbabago yung principal amount based on the value niya talaga, the true value niya talaga sa current inflation rate. Okay? Yung value niya before, yung pa rin value niya ngayon, so mag-a-adjust siya. Okay, based on inflation rate. Diba mas maganda yun? Okay, so yan. Okay, as to who issues, so we have corporate bonds. So, sino nag-i-issue? Private corporations. Okay, pwede daw silang non-cyclical and cyclical. Ang non-cyclical is yung mga negosyong throughout the year ay walang pinipiling panahon, sila ay maganda ang performance, maganda ang standing, Okay, hindi naman sa hindi nalulugi. Kumbaga, nababawi nila agad yung lugi nila. Basta maganda yung performance nila. And cyclicals naman is based on factors such as seasonal yung product, o kaya naman ay yung negosyo is nagbo-boom lang tuwing January, tuwing February, tuwing December, tuwing November. Okay, that's cyclicals. Okay. And also, they are grouped on credit standing. So, below investment grade, okay, so pag below investment grade, ibig sabihin mababa yung credit standing mo, okay? Baka kasi nandun ka sa point ng insolvency, going bankruptcy na. Okay, so, yun yung mga nag-i-issue ng junk bonds. Okay, so ika-classify yung bond as junk bond kasi baka mamaya hindi mo mabayaran. Okay, so and also the investment grade. So sa investment grade is maganda yung performance ng company. So malamang kikita ako dito based on the performance of the company or the rate or yung kasunduan namin. So yun. Okay? Then we have government bonds. So sino nag-i-issue? Government. Nag-i-issue ang government ng bonds. Nangungutang sila. Oh my God, yes! Nangungutang sila. Ang laki na ng utang natin. Charot lang. Nangungutang ang government sa mga private corporations. Okay, for us to, para tayo ay mabuhay sa araw-araw. Charot lang. Para ang operations of the government is continuous. Okay, so this one is low financial risk kasi sabi, when ang government ang umutang, for sure, babayaran yan. Babayaran yan. Hindi lang alam kung kailan. Okay, so yan. So, this includes treasury bonds. Ang treasury bonds ng government is more than 10 years. We have treasury note, that is, ang maturity is 1 to 10 years. And then the treasury bill, which is a short term, usually 90 days lang siya or within 1 year lang. Okay, yan yung mga ini-issue ng government. Okay, mataas ba ang interest rate ng government bonds? No po. Mababa lang po ang interest rate ng government bonds. Okay. Next, as a currency, so we have foreign currency bonds. So this is issued by a foreign entity in a domestic market, denominated in the domestic market's currency. Ibig sabihin lang yan is foreign entity, okay, yung foreign corporation, okay, let's say foreign corporation or foreign entity nasa Pilipinas, nag-issue ng foreign currency denominated bond, foreign currency bond, okay, pero kahit siya foreign currency bond, hindi siya, yung kanyang denomination is not naka-foreign currency, kundi kung anong currency ng inisyuhan yung domestic market. Okay, so ibig sabihin, naka-Philippine peso pa rin. Okay, may katumbas pa rin siyang Philippine peso. Bakit naka-foreign currency bond pa siya? Kasi, kapag ganun, mas attractive siya. Okay, mas attractive siya sa investors and also para ma-maximize yung foreign currency exchanges and differences in exchange rates. So, yeah. Okay, examples include Yankee bonds, USA denominated bonds. We have Bulldog bonds, Kangaroo. Saan kaya yung Kangaroo bonds? Australia, okay? Then we have Maple bonds. Saan yung Maple? Canada. We have Matador bonds and Samurai bonds. Saan yung Samurai bonds? Yeah, it's Japan. So, yan. Okay? So, foreign currency bonds, this is issued by a foreign entity in a domestic market denominated in the domestic market's currency. So, yun siya ha. So, kung may Samurai bond na in-issue sa Pilipinas, okay, siya ay yen, okay, pero yung denomination niya is naka-Philippine peso. Okay? So, yan. Yung Euro bonds, kabaliktaran siya. This is denominated in a currency other than that of the nation where they are sold. For example, Euro yens. So, ang yen denominated issued outside Japan. So, if nag-issue, ang isang entity is nag-issue ng Euro yen, siya ay denominated in yen. Okay? Denominated siya in yen. Okay? And it is issued outside Japan. So, for example, nasa Pilipinas ka, tapos sabi, nag-issue ng Euro bond or Euro yen bond, okay? Nag-issue siya ng yen denominated. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, foreign currency exchanges pa rin siya. Okay? So, Next, what are the contents of a bond indenture? So we have characteristics of bonds, maturity date, provision for repayment, period of grace, establishment of sinking fund, deposit to cover interest payments, provision affecting mortgage property, access to corporate books and records of trustee, certificate of bonds by trustee, record debt to equity ratio, minimum working capital to be maintained, if any. These are just examples of what the bond indenture may include. Okay, so you may take a pick if you want. Okay, now, paano ba nag-i-issue, nagbebenta ng bonds? So, ang bonds kasi, pwede siyang divided into denominations like 100, 1,000, or 10,000. Okay? Para mas maraming investor ang bumili. So, each of the denomination, kunwari, nag-decide ka na 10,000 denomination yung bond. Okay? So, each of the 10,000 denomination ay may bond certificate. So, for example, nag-issue ka daw ng 50,000, 1,000 bonds. So, magkano yung total face amount niya? So, it's 50,000 times 1,000 kasi 50,000, 1,000 peso denominated bonds daw yung binigay mo. So, meron kang na-receive na 50 million kung lahat yan ay may nakuha kang investor or may kumuha sa yung bond. Okay? So, 50 million yan. Okay? An underwriter investment bank takes on the responsibility for selling the bonds to investors. So, hindi siya directly. Hindi usual kasi yung direct eh. Minsan, binibigay lang nila yung yung 50,000 na 1,000 denominated bonds sa mga underwriters and investment bank. And then, sila yung naghahanap ng investors na gustong mag-invest or bumili ng bonds. So, yun. So, interest on bonds may be annually, semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. Okay? Annually, semi-annually, quarterly, or monthly. Okay? Ma'am, paano pag dinalihan mo kami ng semi-annually? Edi sa computation din, naka-semi-annual. So, ma'am, paano yun? Guided exercises. Kasi, the examples na ibibigay natin ngayon is adapted from different authors. Okay, so, ang examples is naka-year, annual. Okay, so sa guided exercises natin, semi-annual, quarterly, monthly. Okay, para at least alam natin kung paano. Okay, initial measurement of bonds payable according to PFRS 9, sabi, if the bonds payable is not designated as fair value through P&L, okay, it shall be measured at fair value less transaction costs. Okay, that are directly attributable to the issuance of the bonds payable. Again, if it's not designated at fair value through profit or loss, okay, siya ay fair value, ang valuation is fair value minus transaction cost. Okay, initial measurement to ha. Okay, so ano ba yung fair value? That is the present value of future cash payments to settle the bond. Ma'am, nakakita na naman kami ng present value. Yes, you will be computing PV of 1 and PV of OA of 1. Okay, so we have to remember how to compute PV of 1 and PV of OA of 1 na kahit hindi given sa problem. Okay, so yeah. Those designated at fair value through P&L, the bonds payable is measured at fair value. So, madali kapag it's measured at FVPL. Okay, kasi naka-fair value lang talaga siya. Ma'am, paano yung transaction cost? Expensed immediately. Okay, so yeah. So, the fair value is also the same as the issue price or the net proceeds from the issue of the bonds, excluding accrued interest. Okay? So, we have subsequent measurement of bonds payable. So, we have PFRS 9. Subsequently, pwede daw i-measure ang bonds payable natin as amortized cost. Okay? It's using the effective interest method or the fair value through P&L. Okay? If naabutan nyo sa Intermediate 1A, 1B yung investments, okay, alam niyo na the fair value through P&L is a measurement niya at end of the year is chine-check if may bagong fair value siya. Okay, if may bagong fair value, yung bagong valuation niya, subsequent valuation niya, again, any gains or losses are declared in P&L. Okay, if hindi nyo naabutan, pwede nating basahin uli. Okay, so yan. So yan, we have accounting for issuance of bonds. So we have two ways. We have the memorandum approach and then the journal entry approach. And then malimit ginagamit the memo entry. The memorandum approach, why? Because yung authorization ng bonds is naka-memo lang. Okay? Ang journal entry bonds kasi, yung kanyang authorization is naka-journal entry, naka-debit to unissued bonds, and then credit to authorized bonds payable. Okay, ibig sabihin, every sale of bonds, binabawasan mo yung unissued bonds account. Okay, kaya ang malimit ginagamit is memorandum approach. Okay, so yan. So we now go to premiums and discounts. So ano ba itong premiums and discount? Sometimes kasi, yung stated amount ng binigay mong bonds, hindi yun yung perang makukuha mo. Hindi yun yung perang yung ibibigay sa iyo. Okay? Hindi yun yung perang ibibigay sa iyo ng investor. Okay? So, the stated amount is not the same as the net proceeds received. Okay? So, if bonds are issued at face amount and there's no transaction cost, paano kapag kung ano yung stated amount, yun na talaga yung matatanggap mo, wala kang problema. Okay, kasi, at tapos wala pang transaction cost, walang premium or discount. Pero, if magkaiba yung stated amount sa net proceeds, okay, meron tayong discount or premium, depende. Kung mas malaki yung face amount or yung stated amount kesa sa natanggap mo, ibig sabihin, nagbenta ka ng 1 million, less than 1 million na natanggap mo, nagkaroon ng discount. Okay? Pero kung, for example, yung stated amount ng bonds mo is 1 million, pero ang natanggap mo is more than 1 million, wow, naka-premium ka. Okay? So, tandaan na, nakalagay naman sa ating palatandaan. Face amount ang FANP is net proceeds. Okay? You can also tell based on the effective rate. Okay? Kapag mas malaki yung effective interest rate mo kaysa sa nominal rate, okay, naka-discount ka. Pero pag mas malaki yung nominal rate kaysa sa effective interest rate mo, may premium ka. Okay? So, yun. So, let's start with premium. So, sa premium, we have twice co-issued bonds with face amount of 5 million at 105. Okay, so, paano journal entry natin yan? Una, dapat alam mo magkano yung natanggap ni twice. Itzy pala yung ginagawa. Sorry. So, ang natanggap ni twice is 5 million times 105. Mamano ka 105? 105%. Okay, so, 5 million times 105% or times 1.05, it's 5 to 50,000. Kinutubang ka na, 'di ba? So, wow, 5 million lang yung inuutang ko pero natanggap ko 5 to 50. Ibig sabihin naka-premium ka. Okay? Kasi mas malaki yung natanggap mo. Okay? So, magkano yung premium? ID net proceeds minus face amount, you have 250,000. Ma'am, paano i-journal entry? Di cash, debit, 5 to 50 kasi yan yung tanggap mo. Wow. Bonds payable. Remember that bonds payable is always presented at its face amount. Okay? Initially. Okay? Bonds payable is always issued at its face amount. Sorry. Bonds payable are always presented at its face amount. Okay? 5 million. Okay? Next, we have premium on bonds payable. So, ilagay mo. Credit mo yung 250,000. This is, a normal balance ng premium is credit. Okay? Kasi parang gain mo siya. Okay? Gain. Gain mo siya. Kasi syempre, 5 million lang yun, no? Binigay sa'yo ng investor, 5,250. Okay, so, yun yung unang pinakasimpleng way of presenting the problem. Paano pag garne? Issued 1,000 peso denominated 12%, 3-year bonds for 1049.73.7 on January 1, 20x1. Principal is due on December 31, 20x3, while interests are due every year and effective rate is at 10%. Mas kapani-paniwala to. Kasi yung kanina, wala man lang kailan due, ano yung interest rate. Okay, so ito at least kompleto. So, magkano yung natanggap niya? Ang natanggap niya is 1,049,737. Parang telephone number lang. Okay, so, yun yung natanggap niya. Okay? Magkano ngayon ang premium? So, edi net proceeds minus face amount. So, we have 10 49,737 minus 1 million. Ma'am, paano na-compute ang 1 million? Nag-issue daw siya ng 1,000 denominated bonds. E di 1,000 times 1,000, the face amount is 1 million. Okay, so premium, 49,737. How do we record? Debit cash, credit, bonds payable, credit, premium on bonds payable. Okay, always remember bonds payable is at face amount. Okay, next. Ha, ma'am, ano yan? Table. Amortization table. Okay, so, ganyan ang itsura ng basic amortization table. Okay, it really hurts, ma'am. It really hurts. Okay lang yan, kaya nyo yan. Okay, so, kung makikita nyo sa columns, kung ako sa inyo, sasauluhin ko itong columns na ito. Yung ano lang ha, yung header lang. So, we have date, interest payments, interest expense, amortization, and then the present value. Ang interest payments is computed as the face amount times the nominal rate. Okay? Ma'am, paano mo ba nalalaman ko yung nominal rate? Okay? So, kapag hindi sinabing siya yung effective rate, yun yung nominal rate. Ha, 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 ma'am. Okay, so, yun yung nominal. Yung sa nominal rate natin is at 12%. Okay, ang ating effective rate is 10%. Okay, so, this one is 1 million. That's our face amount times 12%. Kaya, 120 yung interest payments. This is every year end. So, kaya 120, 120, 120. Okay? Next, interest expense is your net proceeds or yung natanggap mo, okay, or the present value, okay, the net proceeds times the effective rate. Okay, so that's this one, 104,974 is computed as 10,049,737 times 10%. Okay, so yun. Then 103,471 is computed as 1034,711 times 10%. Okay, so and so on and so forth. Nakalagay naman sa ano. Okay, amortization. So, para malaman mo yung amortization, we deduct interest payment and the interest expense. Okay? So, meron kang sobrang 15,026. Ma'am, bakit may sobra? Kasi nga nag-gain ka from the premium. Okay, so yung gain na yun, parang ginagamit mo siya para mabayaran yung mga interest expense mo. Hindi naman tinatama, parang binabangga mo siya sa interest expense, at least nakakatipid ka. Okay? So, how do we know the present value per year end? So, syempre, the present value previously, we computed 1034,711 by 1049,737 minus 15,026. Ano bang goal, ma'am? Your goal is para sa maturity date niya sa 20x3 is maging 1 million. Kasi yun yung face amount. So, ang goal is para pumunta siya sa face amount by the end of the maturity date. Okay? By the maturity date. Okay? So, how do we go there? We deduct the amortization. Okay? Sa premium. Ha? Premium. Okay? So, yan. Ma'am, lagi namin yung ginagawa. Kayang-kaya niya yan. Okay? So, next. Clear? Yeah. Kaya niya yan. So, how about the journal entries? So, these are just illustrations on how to account for it. So, by year end, okay, on 20x1, you debit interest expense na 104,974. Ma'am, sa makakita doon sa table, okay, you debit the premium on bond payable. Mamalin yung premium, yung amortization. Nasa amortization column, okay, debit siya. Okay? Ma'am, bakit naka-debit? Binabawasan mo kasi. Okay? And then, credit cash, yun yung binayad mo, 120,000. Okay? So, for the interest. And so on and so forth. By the third year, which is the maturity date, you now extinguish, cancel, retire. Hindi. You cancel na, extinguish na the bonds payable kasi nabayaran mo na lahat. So, debit, bonds payable 1 million, then credit cash 1 million, binayaran mo na si investor na principal payment na 1 million. Face amount. Okay? Gets? Kailangan gets nyo to. Okay, so yan. At discount, So, pag at discount naman is, tingnan natin, twice ko issued bonds with face amount of 5 million at 95%. Magkano natanggap? 5 million times 95% is 4,750,000. Ang bayan! Humiram na ako ng 5 million na natanggap ko is 4,750,000. So, magkano yung discount ko? Net proceeds minus face amount, 4,750 minus 5 million. Ang discount ko is 250,000. Biruin mo na ang hinihiram ko, 5 million ang binigay sa akin, 4,750. Okay? So, at least meron. Okay? At least may nagpahiram sa'yo ng halos 5 million. Okay? So, yan. So, debit cash, yung na-receive mo, net proceeds na 4,750. Then, debit, discount on bonds payable na 250,000. Normal balance of the discount is debit balance. Okay? It's considered as a loss on the part of the issuer. Kasi, syempre, 5 million hinihiram ko. 5 million ang pinagbenta ko. But, na-receive ko 4,750 lang. Okay? So, bonds payable credit is at face amount na 5 million. Kasi, 5 million pa rin ang babayaran mo. Talaga, ma'am? Yeah, 5 million pa rin ang babayaran mo. Okay? So, yun. Twice ko, yun yung ishi. This one, medyo mahaba. Twice ko issued 1,000 at 12%. Okay? 3-year bonds for, sorry. That's not 12%. That's 10%. Okay? Bago yan. Papalitan natin yan. 10% 3-year bonds for 951,963 on January 1, 20x1. Principal is due on December 31. Effective rate is 12%. So, nagpalit lang yung kanina. So, how much is the discount? Tamo ito. Hindi. Si Ma'am Kim, ano lang. Kinapi-paste lang yung slide. Sorry naman. Okay. How much is the discount? So, yung net proceeds mo is, ang binigay sa iyo is 951,963. Okay. So, minus mo lang siya sa face amount na 1 million, you'll get a discount of 48,037. Okay, how do we record? Cash, debit, discount, debit, and then credit bonds payable. Okay, the cash is at 951,963. Yun yung natanggap mo. Okay, so yun. How do we compute for the interest rates? Kagaya lang din nung unang amortization table. Ano ang highlight natin dito? Okay? So, tingnan nyo to. Ang nominal rate nga is niya 10%. Mamaya babaguhin ko yun. Okay? Nominal rate is at 10%. So, nagbago yung interest payments niya. Okay? Hindi na siya at, yung kanina kasi at 12% yung nominal rate. Dito at 10%. So, magbabago yung interest payment. Ang interest expense, magbabago din because, una, nagbago ang present value and the second, the effective rate is iba na. Okay? So, interest expense again is computed as the present value or the net proceeds times the effective rate of 12%. So, kaya nakuha itong tatlong values na ito. Okay? Then, you look at the IP minus IE. Okay? Kung makikita nyo, hindi lang siya nakalagay na negative. Kanina, mas malaki yung interest payment kesa sa interest expense. Ngayon, mas malaki yung interest expense kesa interest payments. Okay? Kasi nga, you're at a loss kapag naka-discount ka. Okay? Abono ka pa. Okay? So, yun. Pagdating naman dito sa present value table column, okay, your goal is to go hanggang face amount. Okay, so, ang binigay sa iyo is 951,963. Okay, how do you go from 951 to 963 to 1 million? Okay, edi add mo yung amortization. Kanina, minus natin sa premium. Ngayon, i-add mo siya. Okay, that's the highlight of this amortization table differences between premium and discount. Okay, so 951,963 plus the amortization of 14,236, 966,199 until 1 million. Okay, paano nakuha amortization? Pinag-minus lang ang interest expense at interest payments. Okay? So, how do we record? You debit interest expense, you credit cash. Okay, that's the interest payments. And then, you credit discount on bonds payable, that's the amortization. Okay, kung titingnan ninyo, at year-end, still, 1 million ang babayaran mo. Bayan ma. Ganyan talaga ang life. Okay? Kasi, mas maganda ng meron kaysa sa wala. Hugot siya. So, yan. So, bond issue cost or transaction cost. So, ito yung mga nagagastos kapag nag-i-issue ka ng bonds. Okay, so transaction costs are directly attributable to the issuance of the bonds. Examples are printing and engraving costs, your legal and accounting fees, kasi syempre, documents yan. Okay, kailangan ba kasi gusto ng investor na pakita mo sa akin ng FS mo. Okay, ikaw magbayad ng notaryo. Okay, so yung mga registration fee with regulatory authorities, commissions paid to agents and underwriters. Yun yung mga usual bond issue costs. So, sa initial measurement of the bonds payable, if it is not measured in fair value through profit or loss, dinideduct siya sa fair value or the issue price of the bonds. If measured siya sa fair value through profit or loss, expense yung transaction cost. Okay, magkaiba yun? Yes, magkaiba. Kasi kapag yung isa, pag fair value through profit or loss, the issue price, yun na yun, hindi mo siya babawasan. Okay, pero kapag not designated at FVPL, babawasan mo yung face amount or yung stated amount or the issue price. So yun. Tapos, it is then, itong cost, kapag naka-discount ka, okay, it is added to the discount. Okay? Additional loss yun. And then, kapag naman naka-premium ka, it is deducted sa premium. Kasi naka-gain ka doon. So, gamitin mo yung gain, ginamit mo yung gain, pambayad doon sa cost. Okay, so, again, pag may discount ka, i-add mo sa discount yung bond issue cost or the transaction cost kasi additional loss mo siya. Expenses. Okay? And then, sa premium naman is ganun din. Ganun din. Sa premium is dinideduct yung bond issue cost or the transaction cost. Okay? So, example. Twice ko issued 1,000, 10% 3-year bonds at face amount on January 1, 20X1. Commission paid to underwriters amounted to 48,037. Bond is due on December 31, 2023. Interests are paid annually every year end. So, wala tayong problema dyan. So, how do you record that? Ma'am, ibig sabihin, ito ay in-issue at face amount. Natanggap din niya is at face amount. Oo. Kaso, gumastos siya. Okay? Hindi siya discount. Okay? Kasi ang natanggap niya dapat is 1 million, pero may mga nagastos. Okay, so, cash, 951,963. Ma'am, paano yung nakuha? 1 million minus yung commissions paid sa underwriter. Bakit? Kinuha mo yung serbisyo nila, edi bayaran mo yung serbisyo nila. Okay, so yun. Magkano? 48,037. So, natanggap mo lang talaga, ang mapapakinabangan mo lang talaga is 951,960. Although, napakinabangan mo din yung 48,037. Kasi without your underwriters, hindi naman, wala, kumbaga, hindi ganun kabilis makakakuha ng investor para sa iyong bonds. So yun. Okay, transaction cost affects the effective interest rate to be used in amortizing the bond subsequently. Yun nga lang, kailangan mong malaman yung effective interest rate. Bakit? Kasi mag-a-amortize ka. Okay? Subsequent measurement sa kanya. Ma'am, hindi nakalagay. Kaya natin yung computin. Okay? So, again, transaction cost affects the effective interest rate. So, ibig sabihin, ma'am, kapag may transaction cost at minaminus namin sa stated amount, magbabago yung effective interest rate na nakalagay. Yeah. Okay, you need to compute. Okay? Given yung before effective rate, okay, yung after ang kailangan mong computein. Ma'am, paano? Trial and error. Talaga, ma'am? Are you joking? No. Trial and error talaga. Okay, how do we compute for that? You have future cash flows times PV factors in yung present value. Ha? So, ano ba yung future cash flows? Dalawa. You have the principal amount, yun yung babayaran mo talaga, principal amount, okay? And another cash flow na binabayaran mo, cash outflow, is interest, okay? Remember that the principal amount is a one-time payment lang, kaya PV of 1, yung PV factor yung gamitin mo. Ang interest is every year nagbabayad ka, kaya present value of ordinary annuity. Okay? So, kailangan malaman mo yan. Ay ma'am, paano nga namin makukuha yung PV factor? Hindi nga namin alam ang effective interest rate. Yun nga yun. Okay? Because you don't know the effective interest rate, okay, you have to compute for, you have to find X. Okay? So, the percentage to be used should be higher than 10% nominal rate. Why? Diba sabi natin, if the bond is at a discount, mas mataas yung effective rate niya kaysa sa nominal rate. Ano nominal rate mo? Naka 10% ka. Bakit mo nasabing naka-discount ka? Kasi dapat 1 million yung matatanggap mo dahil gumastos ka, 951 lang ang napakinabangan mo, ang talagang net proceeds mo. Okay, ibig sabihin naka-discount ka. So, ano bang characteristic ng discount? Mas mataas yung effective rate niya kaysa sa nominal rate. Ano ba nominal rate? 10%. Okay, so ibig sabihin, ma'am, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Yes, hanggang 15 lang ang itry mo. Okay? Pero dahil nagdi-discuss tayo, hanggang 12% lang muna. Okay, so anong gagawin ko, ma'am? Ni-layout na yung formula niya. So that's 1 million, the principal amount times yung PV of 1, okay? Then plus 1 million times 10% times PV of OA. Ma'am, bakit 1 million times 10%? That's the interest. Okay? Of OA at 1. Okay? So, is equal to 951,963. Ma'am, kailangan sumakto sa 951,963. Yes. Okay? Pag sumakto, nakahanap ka ng gamit yung 11% or 12%. Okay? Sumakto doon sa 951,963. Yun yung effective interest rate niya. This is a trial and error approach. Ma'am, meron yung interpolation. Yes. Pero mas komportable akong gawin ito. I don't know. Sa akin, mas komportable akong gawin ito kaysa sa interpolation. Okay? Anyway. So, remember, discount rate is inversely related to the present value. Ibig sabihin, pag laki ng present value mo, okay, lumiliit yung interest rate. Pag liit ng present value, lalaki yung yung effective rate. Kaya siya, bakit niya sinabi yan? Kasi, kunwari, masyado ka masipag, itatry mo ba hanggang 20%? Above 10? Hindi. Kapag nagtry ka ng 13%, tas kita mo masyadong maliit, kaysa sa 951,963, ibig sabihin, ulit ka. Okay? Hindi 13% yun kasi lalo siyang lumiit. Okay? So, paano siya lalaki? Diliitan mo yung effective interest rate. Okay? So, binigyan ko na kayo, try at 11%. Okay? And try at 12%. And then tell me, paano namin itatal? Okay, so, the answer is 12%. Okay? Pero gusto kong i-practice ninyo, kunin at 11 and at 12. Para alam niyo yung tinutukoy kong discount rate is inversely related to the present value. Okay? So, yun. Yan. So, this one. Hindi ko pala nilagay. Yan, may pag-inom pa. Kasi minsan, kumbaga, alam natin yung starting point. Paano yung kapag tinanong is, how much is the discount on December 31, 20x1? Alam natin nung January 1, 20x1. Paano yung December 31, 20x1, yung katapusan, magkano yung discount rate? You can get it by analyzing the amortization table, look at the present value column, pag-minusin mo lang yung January 1, 20x1 present value and the December 31, 20x1, you'll get the discount on December 31, 20x1. Okay, if pinapahanap. Okay, so yun. Next, issuance of bonds in between interest dates. So, when you issue bonds between interest dates, ang unang problema is may accrued interest dyan. Okay, so, any accrued interest charged on investor is not included in the carrying amount of bond but is credited to the interest expense or interest payable amount. Any interest accrued prior to the issuance is not recognized as interest expense. So, doon lang sa, for example, nagawa yung bond, na-issue yung bond noong January 1. Okay? Napapunta sa'yo. So, kumbaga, marami napuntahang kamay, napapunta sa'yo nung April. Okay? So, from January to April, may accrued interest dyan. Okay? Kung yung original ang may hawak, okay? Tawag din kung siya ay nagawa ng January 1 at napapunta sa ng April 1, there's an accrued interest. Okay? From January to January to April. Okay? So, yan. So, how do we compute? So, let's look at this. On April 1, 20X1, it's Incorporated issued 12% 1 million bonds dated on January 1, 20X1 at 97, including accrued interest. Okay, maturity is at 10 years and interest is paid every year end. What is the initial carrying amount of the bonds on April 1, 20X1? Biruin yung initial carrying amount pa lang yung kukumpitin natin. Okay, so, una, alamin niyo yung cash proceeds. Okay? Kasi including accrued interest, ibig sabihin sa cash proceeds mo, nandoon na yung accrued interest. Okay? So, this one is 1 million times 97. You have 970,000. Remember, nasa loob pa niya yung accrued interest. Tanggalin mo siya. Okay? So, accrued interest sold computed as 1 million times the nominal rate, 12% times 3 over 12. Ma'am, paano na-compute 3 over 12? January, February, March. Ma'am, April. April 1. Okay? January, February, March. 3. Okay, 3 over 12, you get 30,000. Then, the carrying amount of the bonds on April 1, 20X1 is really 940,000. Okay? So, yun. Excuse me. So, how do we journalize that? On April 1, 20X1, you debit cash, yung natanggap mo, 970,000. And then, you compute the discount on bonds payable. Okay? So, 1 million minus yung natanggap mo. 1 million minus yung carrying amount, 1 million minus the amount na wala na accrued interest, the 940. You get a discount of 60,000. Okay? Bonds payable is at face amount, 1 million, and then the interest expense of 30,000. Naka-credit. Okay? Interest expense naka-credit na 30,000. Okay? Kasi, kumbaga, bawas na yun sa EU. Okay? So, yun. Next. On April 1, 20X1, ITSE Inc. issued 12% 1 million bonds dated on January 1, 20X1 at 97 excluding accrued interest. Yung kanina including ito, excluding accrued interest. Maturity is at 10 years and interest is paid every year end. What is the initial carrying amount of the bonds on April 1, 20X1? Okay, so dito, hindi daw kasama doon yung accrued interest. So, madali. So, cash proceeds, 1 million times 97%, 970,000. Yun na yun. Okay? Wala dyan yung accrued interest. Paano natin i-compute yung accrued interest? Okay? Computed as 970,000 plus accrued interest of 30,000. Ma'am, paano nga? Eh, yung kanina, 1 million times 12% nominal rate times 3 over 12. Okay? Kasama siya. Yon, kasama siya. Okay? So, debit, 1 million. Kasi ang daming tumatakbo sa utak ko. Kumbaga, nasa 1 million na ako, hindi ko pa nasasabi yung debit cash. Okay, so yun. Okay? Debit discount on bonds, that's 1 million minus the cash proceed of 970. Okay, kanina 940. Okay, yun ay kapag including. Okay, accrued interest. Dito naman, excluding, sa 97%, excluding pa yung accrued interest. So, kaya 1 million minus 970, 30,000. Credit bonds payable at 1 million and interest expense of 30,000. Okay? So, yun. Gets ba? Okay? You have to really analyze ang situation pag including at the percentage given, including at excluding. Okay? Kasi magkaiba sila ng valuation. Okay? Next, we have treasury bonds. Entities own bonds which are reacquired but not cancelled. Mukala ko ba government ang nag-i-issue? Kasi pwede din naman tawagin treasury bonds yung entities own bonds. Okay? Sarili nilang bonds na nire-acquire nila pero hindi pa nila canceled. Hindi pa sila sinusulatan ng canceled. Okay? Deduction to bonds payable issued for the carrying amount of bonds payable outstanding. So, may bonds payable outstanding, yun yung in-issue nila. Deduction siya sa bonds payable outstanding. Okay? So, yan. Ay, meron pala akong trivia. Bakit treasury bonds, treasury bills, at saka treasury, yon ang tawag sa government-issued bonds? Because ang nag-issue ay Bureau of Treasury. Kaya, treasury bonds. Wala lang. It's trivia. Sorry. Bond refunding. So, sa bond refunding, we have issuance of new bonds at lower interest rates where the proceeds are used to retire the existing outstanding bonds, usually acquired at a call premium. So, dito naman, nag-i-issue ka ng bagong bond para yung matatanggap mo is gagamitin mo pang-retire ng outstanding bonds mo. Okay? Treated as extinguishment of outstanding bonds. So, carrying amount, ito yung ginagamit, carrying amount minus reacquisition price. Okay? Sa reacquisition price, it includes yung binayaran sa extinguishment. Okay? Call premium at expense for reacquisitions. Okay? So, siya ay gain or loss. Yung carrying amount minus reacquisition price is the gain or loss. Okay? It is included in profit or loss. Okay? Gain or loss on extinguishment. So, included in the P&L. Okay? So, we now go to retirement of the bonds. Okay, retirement of bonds prior to maturity date. So, anong ginagawa? Carrying amount of the bonds is updated for any discount or premium amortization up to the date of the extinguishment. So, kailangan i-update mo yung kanyang amortization. Okay? Afterwards, yung updated carrying amount niya minus the reacquisition price, dapat i-determine natin. Okay? So, for example, haba. Issued new bonds with face amount of 10 million for 10/8 on January 1, 20X1. That's the new bonds. Yung proceeds daw ay gagamitin to retire an existing 10-year, 12%, 8 million bond issued 5 years ago. Okay, the bonds have an amortized discount of 340,000 on January 1, 20X1. Twice retire the entire outstanding bonds at a call premium of 400. Costs incurred that are directly attributable is 50,000, twice as income tax rate of 30%. What is the gain or loss on retirement? Okay, so that's carrying amount minus reacquisition price. How do we compute for the carrying amount? Okay, so we have the face amount of the bonds retired. You have 8 million. Okay, less, di ba sabi, tawag din i-update. Okay, i-update yung ating carrying amount less an unamortized discount. Naka-discount siya. Ibig sabihin, hindi 8 million yung natanggap niya. Okay? Discount, so i-minus mo. Okay? Ay mo, bakit kanina doon sa amortization table A+? Kasi nga, going to face amount yon. This one is different. Magkano yung ang analysis dito is magkano ba lang yung natanggap mo knowing na it's a discount. So, knowing that it's a discount, malamang lower than the face amount siya. So, yung discount is nakadeduct. So, yun. Total carrying amount of the bonds that at retirement is bonds retired is 7,660. Okay, so may carrying amount na tayo. Let's go to reacquisition price. So, we have the face amount of the bonds retired, 8 million, plus the call premium, plus the expense. You have reacquisition price of 8,450. So, we have loss on extinguishment of bonds, 790,000. Ba't siya loss? Kasi nga, yung carrying amount of bonds is 7,660, pero yung nagastos mo sa reacquisition is 8,450. Kaya nag-loss ka. Okay, 790,000. How do we record? Debit cash. This is recording of the new bonds issued. Okay, debit cash kasi nakatanggap ka, pinautang ka ng cash. 10/8, bonds payable new, credit 10 million, and then premium na 800,000. Okay? Retirement, debit, bonds payable old, tatanggalin mo na siya at face amount, 8 million. Then, debit, loss on extinguishment of debt, 790,000. Credit, discount on bonds payable, 340,000. Ba't siya naka-credit? Kasi nga, di ba, normal balance is debit. Tatanggalin mo siya. So, i-credit mo, 340,000. And then, naglabas ka ng cash. Ang cash is the reacquisition price. Credit cash, 8,450,000. Okay? So, yun. Next, malapit na, konti na lang. Serial bonds. So, serial bonds, ito yung series of maturity dates. Okay? Periodic payments ay hindi lang interest, kundi pati principal. Okay? Example, on January 1, 20X1, Twiceco issued 10% 3 million bonds for 2,900,305. The principal amount matures in 3 equal annual installment. So, magkano yung installment niya? Knowing na face amount niya is 3 million divided by 3, 1 million per year. With interest due at the end of each year, the effective interest rate is 12%. Compute natin ang babayaran natin. Paano mag-compute? Ma'am, is that amortization table? No. This is computation lang kung magkano ang babayaran natin. Okay? Principal payments for 3 years. We have 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. Yun yung 3 million divided by 3. Okay? Now, we compute for the interest. Okay? Nung unang taon, 3 million times 10%, 300,000. So, madali. Compute na interest payments. Okay? So, total payments mo sa unang taon is 1.3. Okay? Sa second year, dahil nabayaran mo na yung 1 million na principal, malamang hindi na siya 3 million. 2 million na lang siya. Okay? 2 million times 10%, you have 200,000. The next payment, total payment is 1.2. Okay? So, sa third year, dahil nabayaran mo na last year yung another 1 million, malamang hindi na siya 2 million. Siya ay 1 million na lang times 10%, 100,000. That's 1,100,000. Okay, so, yan yung total payments. Ma'am, amortization table? Yes. Next, amortization table. Ma'am, anong pinagbago sa amortization table? Nagkaroon ng added column na principal payments. Okay, so tingnan natin. The interest payments, yung kanina, dun sa ginawa nating dito, yan, sa ginawa nating future cash flows, you have interest payments, carry over mo lang siya dito, 300, 200, 100. Okay? Interest expense, paano nako-compute? This is the present value times the effective rate, given naman. So, 29,305 times 12%, 348,037, and so on and so forth. Amortization, pag minus mo lang yung dalawa, you have 300,000 minus 348,037, you have 48,037. IP minus IE. Kung titingnan ninyo, mas malaki yung interest expense kesa sa interest payments. Okay? Kasi naka-discount siya. Yon. So, we have the principal payments na 1 million. Paano makukuha ang present value, ma'am? You have the present value plus the amortization of 48,037 kasi discount siya. Okay, remember sa amortization table, ha? Okay, balikan ninyo yung discussion natin sa amortization regarding discount and premium. It's very crucial. Okay? Okay? Minus the principal payment. So, that's 2,900,305 plus 48,037 minus 1 million. You'll get 1,948,342 and so on and so forth. Okay? Okay. So, yan. Journal entries. So, ito, sample lang ng first year. Okay? Almost the same sila ng second year and third year. So, we have debit interest expense of 114,236. Ma'am, saan nakuha? Doon sa amortization table. Bonds payable. Okay? Ma'am, bakit naka-debit agad? Kasi nga nagbayad ka na ng principal amount, diba? Okay, at 1 million. Okay? And then, credit cash. Yung ibinayad mo, total payments. 1.3 sa first year. Tanda. And then, credit ka ng discount on bonds payable at 48,037. That's the amortization. Okay? Remember these sa serial bonds. Ma'am, sakit sa ulo yan? Yes, sakit sa ulo yan. Pero okay lang yan para sa pangarap. Lalo na kung siguro kung naka-semi-annual yan. Okay, so yun. Sa guided exercises natin siya gagawin. Magtuwan-tuwa ka pa, ha? I just remember the days nung estudyante ako. At ako'y hirap na walang mga gantong videos, YouTube videos. Talagang libro ka lang. Yan. Okay, so anyway. So, zero coupon bonds. Coupon talaga, ma'am. Coupon. Okay, anyway. Diba sa zero coupon bonds ay walang periodic payments, isang bagsakan lang. Okay? Isang bagsakan lang ng bayaran. So, one-time payment of principal and interest sa maturity date. Paano siya? So, example, on January 1, 20X1, twice co-issued 10%, 3 million at yield to maturity of 18%. Ma'am, ano yung yield to maturity? Effective rate. Okay? Principal and interest rate are due on December 31, 20X3. So, 3 years siya. Anong gagawin? Yang 3 million na yan, hindi siya 3 million in 3 years time. Okay, why? Passage of time. Okay, inflation, yung mga factors. So, you need to get the future value. Okay, the future value, marunong gumawa ng future value. Okay, the future value of 1 at 10 Okay, N is equal to 3. Ma'am, hindi future value of ordinary annuity, no. Kasi one-time payment naman to. Future value of 1 lang. Paano nakukuha? Guided exercises. O di kaya, if you know how to get a PV, okay, di ba naka-negative ang N doon? Huwag mong i-negative. That's a future value already. Of 1 of FV of 1. Okay? So, we compute for maturity value of the bonds. So, face amount of 3 million times the future value of OA of 1.331, you'll get maturity value of the bonds at 3993. Yan yung value nyo in 3 years time. Okay? So, dahil yan yung value niya in 3 years time, gusto ko malaman anong value niya ngayon. Okay? Ma'am, hindi pa yung 3 million. Hindi. Yung value niya ngayon, paano na makukuha? 3993 times the present value. Ma'am, present value at 18%. Ito kasi future value at 10. Ito, present value of 18%, which is the effective rate. Yung future value, naka-nominal. It really hurts. Kaya nyo yan. Okay, so, present value, alam ko naman kung marunong kayo mag-compute, you have 0.608639. Pag hindi kayo marunong mag-compute, guided exercises. So, we have 3993 times present value, you'll get 243263. That's the issue price. Okay? That's the present value. So, that's the issue price. Okay? Ma, bago na naman ang amortization table. Yes! Okay. This is for if you encounter zero coupon bonds. Okay, so anong bago? Halos lahat. No. Interest expense is still here. Okay, that's the present value of cash flows times 18%. Okay, alam niyo naman to, present value. Okay, yung present value natin, that's 243263. Okay? Times 18%, yan, and so on and so forth. Yan, ganun ha. Ito ay, for the second year, siya ay 2867710 times 18% ha. Baka naman 243263 ka ng 2430 hanggang patatlong taon. No. Nag-iiba ang present value mo throughout the years. Okay, so yan. Present value of future of cash flow. So, you have the previous balance plus the interest expense. So, 2430,263 plus 437447. Yun yung bago mong present value of cash flow. So, you have 2867710. And so on and so forth. Okay? Next, interest payable. That's the principal plus accrued interest at times 10%. So, the principal amount, okay? Principal times plus accrued interest. So, we have 300, 330, and then 363. Okay? So, yun. Paano ganun ko-compute yan? You have 3 million times 10%. Okay? You have 300,000. Okay? Then, the next year, you have 300,000 plus 300, 3 million plus 300,000. You have 3 million, 3 million plus 300,000, you have 3,300,000 times 10%, kaya 330,000 yung second year mo. Okay, then the next year, you have 3,300,000 plus 330,000 times 10%, you have 363,000. Okay, so next, we have amortization. How do we compute for amortization? You have interest expense doon sa padalawang column minus the interest payable. So, 437,447 minus 300,000, you get 137,447. Okay? So, guided naman kayo ng headers. Ano? So, yan. Okay? Present value of the bonds. Ito yung hinahanap natin. So nung in-issue sa'yo, 243263. So, paano ko kumputin yung at the end of the year, you have previous balance plus amortization. Di 243263 plus 137,447. Bakit plus? Kasi going 3 million. Okay? Yung laging titingnan nyo yung maturity, yung face amount niya. Para malaman nyo if yung amortization ba is plus or minus. Okay? That's the clue. So, 2567710. So, for the next year, you have 2567710 plus 186,188 is equal to 2753898. Okay? Makaka-encounter kayo dyan na yung last year, may putal na piso, 2 piso, 3 piso. Okay lang yon, okay? Pero yung kapag ang putal ay masyadong malaki, ibig sabihin mali yung ginagawa mo. Okay, so So, yun. Yun lang naman. Yun lang ang discussion for the theories and some examples. Okay, I'll see you in sa guided exercises. Napahaba. Okay lang yun kasi dalawang topics halos ang ating na-cover. Okay, so bye guys!